Hello everyone. Today we are discuss about the cellular concept. The cellular concept was a major breakthrough in solving the problem of spectral congestion and user capacity. It offered very high capacity in a limited spectrum allocation without any major technological changes. The cellular concept is a system a level idea which calls for replacing a single high power transmitter with many low power transmitter. This means large cell and small cells, each providing coverage to only a small portion of the service area. Each base station is allocated a portion of the total number of channels available to the entire system, and nearby base stations are assigned different groups of channels so that all the available channels are assigned to a relatively small number of neighboring base stations. Neighboring base stations are assigned different groups of channels so that the interference between base stations and the mobile user under their control is minimized. As the demand for service increases, as more channels are needed within a particular market, the number of base stations may be increased, along with a corresponding decreasing in transmitter power to avoid added interference, thereby providing additional radio capacity with no additional increase in radio spectrum. This fundamental principle is the foundation for all modern wireless communication systems, since it enables a fixed number of channels to serve an arbitrarily large number of subscribers by reusing the channels throughout the coverage region. Frequency reuse. The cellular radio systems rely on an intelligent allocation and reuse of channels throughout a coverage region. Each cellular base station is allocated a group of radio channels to be used within a small geographic area called a cell. Base station in adjacent cells are assigned channel groups which contain completely different channels than neighboring cells. The base station antennas are designed to achieve the desired coverage within the particular cell. By limiting the coverage area to within the boundaries of a cell, the same group of channels may be used to cover different cells that are separated from one another by distances large enough to keep interference levels within tolerable limits. The design process of selecting and allocating channels groups for all of the cellular base station within a system is called frequency reuse or frequency planning. This is a frequency reuse structure diagram. The hexagonal cell shape is conceptual and is a simplistic model of the radio coverage for each base station, but it has been universally adopted since the hexagon permits easy and manageable analysis of a cellular system. The actual radio coverage of a cell is known as the footprint and is determined from field measurements or propagation prediction models. A cell with the same letters use the same set of frequencies. A cell cluster is outlined in bold and replicate over the coverage area. In this example, the cluster size n is equal to 7 and the frequency reuse factor is 1 by 7. Since each cell contains 1/7 of the total number of available channels, normally omnidirectional antennas are used in center excited cells and scattered directional antennas are used in corner excited cells. Practical consideration usually do not allow base station to be placed exactly as they appear in the hexagonal layout. To understand the frequency reuse concept, Consider a cellular system which has a total of S duplex channels available for use. If each cell is allocated a group of k channels k less than S, and if the S channels are divided among n cells into unique and disjoint channels groups which each have the same number of channels, the total number of available radio channels can be expressed as S is equal to Kn. The n cells which collectively use the complete set of available frequencies is called a cluster. If a cluster is replicated m times within the system, the total number of duplex channels C can be used as a measure of capacity and is given by C is equal to mkn is equal to ms. The capacity of a cellular system is directly proportional to the number of times a cluster is replicated in a fixed service area. The factor n is called the cluster size and is typically equal to 4, 7 or 12. If the cluster size n is reduced while the cell size is kept constant, more clusters are required to cover a given area, and hence more capacity, a larger value of C, is achieved. The value of for n is a function of how much interference a mobile or base station can tolerate while maintaining a sufficient quality of communications. From a design viewpoint, the smallest possible value of n is desirable in order to maximize capacity over a given coverage area. N is equal to I square plus ij plus j square, where I and j are non-negative integer. To find the nearest co-channel neighbors of a particular cell, one must do the following. Move I cells along any chain of hexagon and then, second point, turn 60 degrees counterclockwise and move j cells. 19 cells reuse. Example, n is equal to 19. I9. It is a frequency reuse cells. Method of locating co-channel cell is a cellular system is shown above. In this example, n is equal to 19, therefore I is equal to 3, j is equal to 2.